The monastery of Kells, or Canismore, County Meath, was founded early in the 9th century as a refuge for the monks of Iona, an island monastery off the coast of Scotland, founded by St. Columba. Iona was destroyed by the Vikings in the first years of the 9th century. The cross is one of the few of its type with an inscription, Patrici et Columbae Crux, the cross of St. Patrick and St. Columba. The remains of 4 crosses are to be seen in Kells today, but perhaps the first to be erected was this cross near the Round Tower, which is most similar in style to the crosses left behind by the monks in Iona. Near the Tower cross there's a so-called broken cross, of which only part of the shaft remains. On this face we see the story of the fall, serpent coiled around the tree, Adam and Eve hiding their nakedness. On the opposite side, the baptism of Christ. Above it, the wedding feast at Cana and some other panels, hard to decipher. John the Baptist on the right, pouring water over Christ, knee-deep in the Jordan, the Holy Spirit descending feet first as a dove. Note that the Jordan River is shown as having 2 sources. This piece of geography was known in Ireland from a book on the Holy Land by Admnán, the 2nd Abbot of Iona. We can learn something of how these crosses were made from another cross in Kells, which is unfinished. Because of the danger of carvings being broken during transport, the blocks were only roughly cut in the quarry, and the panels were left in fairly high relief to permit a certain amount of freedom to the sculptor who worked on site. The Kells monument gives us a good example of how carving proceeded. The nearly flat surfaces of the unfinished figures showed the original roughing out of the panels, while the background was gradually cut away. Most of the central panel has been carved, though possibly not in its final state, as there isn't much modelling. The 2 hands of Christ are no more than outlined on areas of the stone which have not yet been worked. The panel on the right is roughly modelled into the unfinished shapes of 4 human figures, while the panel on the left has simply been attacked by some deep cuts. Curiously, the interlacing on the ring seems quite finished, as if the sculptor wanted to get it out of the way before beginning the more difficult figures. In spite of the fact that the market cross in Kells is broken at the upper part, the modelling has a full, rich appearance which is quite new and different from anything we've seen so far. The figures here are really treated in the round. Christ is surrounded by 4 animals, rampant. Abraham with sword, Isaac bent below the horizontal, waiting for the blow. The temptation of St. Anthony, firm in purpose, surrounded by devils, the one on the right like an Egyptian god. Adam and Eve, and to their right, Cain killing Abel. The innocent Abel again being one of the conventional symbols for Christ. David leaps onto the lion's back and wrenches its jaws asunder. Moses receives the law. Moses with the long beard and shaggy hair holding slabs of stone. Below, the children of Israel in the wilderness. Jacob wrestles with the angel. They seize each other round the waist, straining, their heads one above the other's back. Cana, 4 servants below holding water jugs, Christ seated above left, with the chief steward bowing in front of him. Apart from its intrinsic beauty and interest, the market cross in Kells is notable in another way. It's said to have been used as a gallows in 1798.